Make sure that's, yep, okay. So we are actually going to start on our backs. Have your block nearby. A little core work today. A little craziness. Shut that door. So we'll start off just by letting the body settle in here. Letting the muscles relax. Depending on your day, maybe taking a few long, slow breaths and just letting your day go with each of those exhales. So we're going to focus just on the belly breath today. So initially, just an easy, soft breath, not trying to change it at all, but notice the rising and falling of your belly as you breathe. As you're inhaling, the belly expands, and then as you exhale, the belly descends. You might even notice it in the back as well as you're breathing. The expansion in that space as well as the belly. And then we'll deepen the breath a little bit so that you can feel a bigger expansion in that space. And then just a gentle pulling in as you release the breath. Breathing in, pressing out. Breathing out, pulling in. We're going to lengthen the breath even more so there's an even bigger expansion. Maybe you take that all the way into the torso. So you feel the whole torso expanding, and then you feel the belly coming in and the torso relaxing. We'll do a few more rounds. A nice big expansion on the inhale and a gentle pulling in to release all the breath on the exhale. When you're done with those last few breaths, just let the breath go back to normal. And then we'll start to bring a little bit of movement back, start small. And eventually start to take those movements out into the arms and legs. Maybe feet to the floor to windshield wipe. We're going to do a couple things on our back here. And then knees to chest, a little rock. And then we'll come back to center if you're rocking, and release the hands. You're gonna take the knees out so that they're pointing up towards the ceiling. We're just gonna start to circle the knees. Start out small. And then if you like, the circle can get bigger. And then we'll try kicking the legs out just above the floor, and then bringing them in and around, kicking out, back in and around. Do that a few more times. And then pause back at center, and we'll circle in the other direction. And again, we're going to start out small and then get a little bit bigger. And then eventually, if you started to kick those legs out just above the floor, I'm going to do that. Just a couple more. When you're done, take it out, big long stretch. And we'll keep the right leg down, take the left leg up towards the ceiling. Then we slide that left leg out to the side. Try to keep the other hip down. And then slowly take it back up to center. Bring that leg down, bring the other one up. With control, opening out to the side. Trying to keep the opposite hip down. One more breath. And then slowly bring it back up. That leg comes down, take a big stretch out. You're going to take the left leg back up towards the ceiling. So we're going to open and close just this leg. If it's too much to keep the leg straight, bend the knee and you can do the same thing. So you're going to open out to the side and then use your core. Come on back up to center. So we're trying to go with control here instead of just flinging ourselves, right? Attempting to keep that other hip down. Just a couple more. When you're done with those last couple, release, take that leg down, take the other leg up. I'm going to take that leg out to the side and back in with control. Just a couple more. And then release, take it out, big stretch. So you're going to grab your block. You're going to bring it in between the hands. So really on the widest. So the hands are kind of on the short ends. So initially just movement with the arms. So your inhale is coming up into this position, up overhead, and then exhale, you're going to bring the arms down, maybe tap somewhere on the body. Inhale, up and over. If you want a little bit more, you're going to squeeze the block. Do a couple more of those. Pause with the arms extended. Hands between the hands between the block between the hands. I'm going to bring the feet to the floor with the knees pointing up. So now we're going to add bringing the knees in. So we're going to take the inhale is here in this position. Exhale, we're going to bring the knees in and see if you can take the arms around the knees and then lift up, bring the feet back down and the arm back up overhead. So knees come in, arms come up, and then come down with control. Now, instead of bringing the feet all the way down to the floor and the arms all the way down to the floor, you're going to hover just above when you extend. Squeeze the block. Couple more. We're going to end back with the feet on the floor, knees pointing up. We're going to take the block and bring it in between the thighs. So whatever position is comfortable. Might be comfortable to have the long sides kind of in between touching the thighs. Could be more perpendicular. So find a space that's comfortable for you. So we're going to bring the arms up overhead and leave them there. And we're going to bring the knees up in towards the chest. Squeeze the block. Your inhale's up and your exhale's down. Same thing now, you're going to pause just above the floor, so don't bring the feet all the way down. Squeeze that block. Next time you've got the feet hovering just above the floor, we're going to pause and breathe. And release the feet. If it's okay for you, keep the block in between the knees and windshield wipe side to side. If that doesn't work for you, then take it out. If you took the block out, you're going to bring it back between the thighs. You're going to take the legs all the way down so they're straight. Now we're going to see if we can bring the legs up, squeezing the block. So remember, if this is a little too difficult, you can always bend the knees again. You could also lift up a bit and bring the hands right underneath the buttocks. That sometimes gives a little help. So you're going to squeeze the block and lift the legs. Keep squeezing and then lower it down. Keep squeezing all the way down. Breathe in, come on up. Breathe out, lower it down. Do a few more. On that last one, when you come back towards the floor, if you can, try and hover just above the floor. Squeeze. And release, take the block out. We're gonna either bring the knees to the chest or windshield wipe. Don't get crazy though. We're not getting rid of that block altogether. All right. All right, let's try this. Why not? We're going to take the block and bring it kind of in between. So bring your legs up so you can put the block kind of just above the ankles. So you probably want to be kind of the short width, because I think the wide width might be a little too hard, but you could try it. What the heck? All right, so we're going to try a lift and lower here. This requires a lot more effort on your part. If it doesn't work, don't worry about it. All right, so once again, if you need to bring the hands underneath the buttocks, feel free to do that. We're going to lower it down. So this requires more because there's all this wiggly stuff going on, right? Because we're trying to hold on to that block. Keep breathing. Ooh, holy cannoli. You'll be happy to know we're not going to do a whole lot of these. A couple more. Smile. When you're done, let it go. Take a big stretch out. Whew. I'm going to do one more thing with the blocks here on the back. Just a couple more swipes there, or rocks with the knees in. And then we're going to bring the knees in and bring that block back between the thighs. And you want to have your shins about parallel to the ceiling. Arms out far enough so that we can kind of come side to side here. So you're going to squeeze the block in and then start to head over to the right. Squeeze the block, keep squeezing. When you get just above the floor, you're going to bring it back up. This is really hard to do and talk at the same time. And then over to the other side. So again, we're using control. We're not winging ourselves from place to place here. I'm going to do a couple more. And then the next time you're headed over to the right and you're hovering just above the floor, and it might be farther above the floor, it's all good. You're going to pause, hold, breathe, squeeze. And bring it all the way back up and over to the other side. Same thing, pause, hold, squeeze, and breathe. And come on back up. I'm going to take that block out and find a way to release the body. So it could be knees to chest, windshield wiping, maybe a big stretch, something else. When you're ready, we're going to head up and over into table pose. When you get there, just check in, see what your body might need, any movement or stretches, any postures. Mental note not to wear these pants again because they keep falling down. So just check in, see what your body's asking for. Sometimes when we work on the core, the back gets a little cranky. So maybe you stretch out the back. Maybe it's something that allows you to release and relax. Just a few more breaths. And then we are going to do some cat-cows here with the focus on the core. So as you're breathing in, we're going to press out through the belly. And as you're breathing out, pull the belly up and in. So you can stay kind of easy and slow here, or you can start to build a little momentum and heat by going a little faster. Just let your body do what it needs. Do a few more rounds. And then we'll head back to table pose. So we're going to try a little bit more balancy version of baby half moon. So to get into it, we're going to come right from table. So you're going to take your right leg up and then take that hip up towards the ceiling. Now we're going to keep everything where it is except for that right arm. We're going to take the right arm up. So this is going to require some work with the core, work with the leg, work with the arm, because we're not going to move that foot, right? Normally we have that foot back a little bit. See if you can get up. I did it earlier. Whoa. Keep breathing when you get there. Then if you like, you want to bend that top knee. See if you can get the foot. If you've got the foot, we're going to release and then come on back over. Take a few cat-cows. And then we're going to head to the other side. So left leg comes up. And then we're going to see about shifting that hip up towards the ceiling. And then bringing the arm up. Trying not to shift that back foot. If you went for the foot, bending that top knee. And then release that. Come on back over. A few cat-cows. And come on down to the forearms. Arms can stay apart or come together, whatever's more comfortable for you. And take those feet back for forearm plank. Right leg comes up. Right leg comes down. Left leg comes up. Bring that foot down. Bring the knees down. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Push up and back to any variation of child's pose you'd like to take. Knees can come wide or stay where they are. Do a few more breaths here. And we're going to make our way back to table pose and up into downward facing dog. Take a few moments here to do what you need to in this space. And we're going to start with some movement here. So kind of heading into your still downward facing dog. As you inhale, we're going to bend the knees and tap them down on the floor and then lift up. If they don't make it to the floor, no big deal. Just bend the knees and then straighten. Do a few more of those. And then the next time you're headed down with the knees bent, hover just above the floor. And straighten back up into downward facing dog. Come on down, rest the wrists. We're going to do a few more things, so I want to give you a break in between. All right, let's head on back to downward facing dog. This time we're going to move back and forth between down dog and plank pose. So your inhale is moving forward, and your exhale, use your core to bring you all the way back up. Core to bring you down, core to bring you up. Next time you're in plank pose, pause. Right leg comes up. Right leg down, left leg up. That leg comes down all the way back up into downward facing dog. You're going to take it into a standing forward bend. Get there how you need to. A few more breaths there. And then when you're ready, inhale it all the way up. Hands come to the heart. All right. So I'm going to move through the sun salutation B, and we'll end up in lunge. So inhaling up, exhale forward. Come to halfway. Hands come down. Step it back to plank pose. Get an inhale in and then lower it down, either chaturanga or bring the knees down, up into cobra. Lower it back down, push up and back, downward facing dog. You're gonna bring that right leg up and bring that foot through in between the hands. You're gonna bring the back knee down for now. So you're gonna try a bind. It may not work for you depending on your arm length. So you're gonna take your right hand and bring it on the inside of that front foot. So this might be where you end up and just maybe you're taking that right hand underneath the leg and just leaving it there. If you want to try the bind, you're going to bring that hand underneath. Try to get your shoulder down as much as you can into that knee crease, and then bend that elbow and bring it up around behind your back with the palm facing out. Now try to lift the other hand up and see if you can reach it. So this makes you work a little harder, just in case you didn't notice. Keep breathing. It's a bound low lunge. Couple more. And then we're going to release the hands. Come back up a little bit here. You're going to take that right hand back out to the outside of the front foot and bring your left hand in a little closer to the front foot. So we're heading into a twist here. Coming out to the right, that arm can go up or can come around. If you want to try to work things a little bit more, bring that other arm up and hold opposite elbows, or not. I've missed moderate. Hands come on back down. Come on back around. Now we're going to lift that back knee up. So tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Oh, guess what we're going to do? Take your right hand on the inside of that right foot. You can stay right there, or you can try that bind again. Take that shoulder, bring it down underneath, wrap that arm up and around. Oh, Lord, have mercy. See if you want to try and grab that. Keep breathing. All right, hands come on back down. Oh, bring that hand back out. We're going to take the front foot back for downward facing dog. Stretch out. Couple more. And then we'll take it forward. A few breaths in your forward bend. And then if you want to come through flat back forward bend and come up, you can do that, or you can just come on up. All right, we're going to head to the other side. Inhale it up. Come on down. Halfway. Hands come down. Take it back to plank pose. I'm going to lower it down. Chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Cobra pose. Lower it down, push up and back, down dog. Left leg comes up. We're going to bring that through in between the hands. Back knee comes down. I'm going to take that left hand on the inside of the left foot. I'm going to bend and try to get that shoulder down towards the crease of the knee. Take that arm around or through. And if you went for the bind on the other side, seeing if it happens on this side. Geez, I shouldn't have looked up. Keep breathing, couple more. And release, come on down. That hand comes out to the outside of the foot again. Right hand in towards that front foot. And coming out for our twist. To the left. Couple more. And then we're going to come on down around. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Bring that left hand on the inside of that foot and see if you can come into that bind. If not, just be where you need to be. One more. And release, take it back out. Step it back, down dog. Stretch out what needs it. If you need to rest, come down. And do about 3 or 4 more breaths, and then we'll head into a standing forward bend and make our way up to standing. All right, so we're going to use our block again. I'm going to have it somewhere near the front of your mat. So I'm going to inhale it up. Come on down. Come halfway. Hands come down. We're going to take that right foot back. This time we're going to pivot the back heel. We're going to rise up into warrior two. So grab your block in the left hand and rise up. Flip it up towards the ceiling. Now we're going to bring the hands up so they come together on the block, squeeze in. Turn sideways so I'm not backwards to you guys. Now we're going to see if we can start to side bend, coming down towards that front knee. Keep the arms straight if you can, squeeze in. If that doesn't work, then don't squeeze. Keep breathing. And come on, back up. Straighten that front leg. You're going to release, keep the hand, so it'd be your front hand on the block. Turn the block down. So we're going to bring it down to the outside of that front leg for a triangle. So reach it out and then bring it down to the outside and up into triangle here. Now we're going to take that bottom hand, bring it up to about shoulder height, flip the block up. Now bring the other hand over to meet it. And you're still breathing, right? Now we're going to use the core to bring ourselves all the way back up. Ooh-wee. Okay. Release your arms. Hi. How we doing? Everybody good? All right. Bend that front knee. You can just set that block down. You're going to windmill down and around. You're back to lunge. Step your front foot back. Downward facing dog. If there's another position you need to be in, please take it. We'll spend a few breaths here. When you're ready, we're going to step it forward, or jump or hop or saunter to get to your forward bend. And then however you'd like to make your way back up to standing. Make sure your block's back at the front of your mat. We're going to head to the other side. I'm going to inhale it up. Come on down. Halfway. Hands come down. We're going to take the left foot back. I'm going to pivot that back heel. Get your block. Come on up. Warrior 2 with the block facing up towards the ceiling. And then bring it all the way up, both hands on the block. Squeeze that block, sink down. We're going to go into that side bend towards that bent knee. Squeeze the block, keep breathing. And come on back up. Block in the front hand, straighten the front leg. I'm going to reach it out and head into triangle with the block behind that front ankle or wherever it lands. And then we're going to bring that bottom hand up, flip the block up towards the ceiling, then bring the other one over to meet it. Couple more. Use your core, come all the way back up. Whew. Release, bend that front knee, block can come down, windmill down and around, step it back, down dog or wherever else you might need to be here. And if you're not in downward facing dog, making your way there, you're going to bring the right foot in towards center a little bit and then cross the left ankle in front. So we're going to have the legs crossed for a downward facing dog. You can adjust the feet as necessary. So you could bring them apart, they could be closer. And now we're going to move between cross-legged downward facing dog and cross-legged plank. So move forward into plank and then use your core, help lift you all the way back up. You can do 5 more of those. When you're done, you're going to pause and cross-legged down dog. And then we're going to cross the other way. 7 total, moving back and forth between crossed down dog and crossed plank. When you're done, you're going to uncross. You can stay in down dog if that's where you need to be, or come into a different position to rest or release. A few more breaths. And then we'll head into our standing forward bend and back to standing, however you'd like to get there. All right. grab your block. You're gonna bring it in between the legs. So it can be kind of the skinny side, or it could be a little wider if it feels like you need it to be a little wider. I'm gonna squeeze that block in. Inhale up. Exhale down and around, come forward. Inhale halfway. Exhale, bring the hands down, and we're gonna bend the knees. Keep squeezing that block. And then bring those arms up so they're framing your ears. Squeeze in. Lift up into chair pose, Utkatasana. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And lower it down. Straighten the legs. Inhale halfway. Exhale, come on down. And then all the way up. This time we're going to take the block in between the hands. And have it about heart center. And you're going to squeeze it in. Bend the knees. Keep squeezing the block and take your right elbow down. Come on up and take your left elbow down. And come on back up. Squeeze in. Take those arms straight out in front of you. Take the arms up. Straighten the legs. Release the block. All right, so we're gonna head towards figure 4. So this one. And just for fun, we're gonna do some crunches while we're there. Yay. Yay, I'm so excited. Okay, but first, that's assuming that you can stay upright, right? All right, so we'll start on the right foot. So you're gonna shift your weight, bend that knee, and cross the other ankle over. And then start to squat down a little bit. You're gonna bring the hands to the heart. So to do the squat, we're gonna take the hands down towards the legs and then lift up. Come down and lift up. Couple more. And then the next time you're down, you're gonna stay and breathe and smile. And then you're gonna try and release your hands and bring them down to the floor. That might not happen, don't worry about it. Bring the hands back to the heart and lift all the way up. Woo, release. Stretch out that leg. Ooh, ooh, ooh. All right, let's repeat the joy on the other side. Shift your weight to the left leg. Start to cross that other ankle over. Do that little squat down, hands come to the heart center, and then we're gonna lift and lower. Do not look at me. Next time you're down, we're gonna stay. And then if you try taking those hands down to the floor, you're gonna try that. And then we try to take those hands back to the heart and lift up. And release, stretch it out. All right, let's come on back to your mat if you came off. Inhale it up. Pause with those arms open. Relax your shoulders. As you exhale, take the arms down around behind. Inhale, open up a little bit more. Exhale, come on down. Arms can go up towards the ceiling or stay on your back. And release those hands, come on down. Inhale halfway. Exhale, bring those hands down. Step it back to plank. So now when we're doing the knee down, tap in downward facing dog, we're gonna do that here in plank. So knees tap down and then lift up. Couple more. And come on up into downward facing dog. I'm going to slide it back into plank pose. Coming into side planks, you're going to come up over onto that right foot. So you can stack those feet, or you can bring one in front or one in back. Keep breathing. Turn sideways here. If you want to be fancy, you can take that top leg up. Couple more. And then come on over. Might as well just get it over on the other side. Head over to the other side. Attempt what you did on the other side. So if you attempted to bring the leg up, attempt that again. Just a couple more. And then we're going to come back around, bring the knees down and come to sit. Legs can be wherever you like. I want to get a twist in here. So stay for about 4 or 5 breaths on each side. Whatever twist feels good for you. When you're done, we're going to head back to center. Joy of joys, grab your block. I'm going to bring the feet to the floor in front of you. I'm going to bring that block in between. So you might want to have it again on kind of that medium width there. So to start, we're just going to squeeze that block in. I'm going to sit up nice and tall and then just start to sit back. Squeeze in, sit back, but you want to keep the spine long. Arms can be out in front of you, or if you want a little more, take them out to the sides. Don't let your back get roundy. Keep your back long. And bring those hands down. Again, we're going to windshield wipe. If you need to take the block out, take the block out. And then we'll pause back at center. All right, I'm going to bring the legs up this time. So just start by taking the feet up off the floor a little bit. Squeeze in. And then see if you can bring the legs up a little higher. Squeeze. Arms out, down, or out front. Squeeze. Couple more. And release. Take the block out. Ooh. Windshield. I'm going to pause on one side. And then up and other side. Sorry, over another side. And come on, back up. So we're going to get ready to head down to the back. So if you need anything for Shavasana, make sure you grab that. When you get down there, check in, see what your body's asking for. Is there a particular posture or movement that would feel good when you get there? What might need to be stretched out here? I'm going to do one more core thing and then we're going to settle into a twist. So take those legs up towards the ceiling. Legs are straight, arms down along the side somewhere. So we're going to shift side to side here. So be careful. You want to use control. You're going to go just to that point where you're like, oh, geez, that might be the end, right? And then lift them back up. Come back to center and then head over to the other side. So we're using control, right? We're not throwing ourselves from side to side. A couple more. And the next time you're kind of headed over to the right, pause there and breathe. And then back to center, over to the other side. And come on back through. Bring those knees into the chest. Give a little rock here. And we'll take those feet back to the floor, knees pointing up, and take the knees over to the right. And if you want, you can take that right foot and bring it up on top of the left thigh. Settle in for a twist. It might feel good to stretch out those hips. If it doesn't work, don't worry about it. Let the body relax into the twist. Whenever you're ready, you can unwind and head up over to the other side. And then we'll head back to center. Take some time here to do anything you have left in your practice before you settle into Shavasana, whatever that looks like and feels like for you. Take care of your body, particularly those places that worked hard tonight. Maybe you spend a little extra time softening the belly or releasing the hips or those thighs. Maybe it's the shoulders from all the work with the arms and the blocks. before we begin to come back to the body, taking a few moments to connect to your breath again, to that rise and fall, filling and emptying of the belly, the back, the chest. Maybe deepening the breath a bit so you can feel a little more movement in that space as you begin to become aware of your body and eventually back to movement. Take your time coming back to the body, moving when you're ready. Any postures that might feel good. When you do arrive at seated, it's taking some time to get that posture, taking the shoulders over the hips, top of the head over the tailbone, relaxing. Hands wherever it's comfortable for you. So I'd like to end with a quote that I think is kind of appropriate for this year. I don't unfortunately know the author. Life is amazing, and then it's awful, and then it's amazing again. And in between the amazing, it's ordinary and mundane and routine. Breathe in the amazing, let go of the awful, and exhale during the ordinary. Life is amazing, and then it's awful, and then it's amazing again. And in between the amazing, it's ordinary and mundane and routine. Breathe in the amazing, let go of the awful, and exhale during the ordinary. Bringing the hands together at the heart and bowing forward to seal in our practice. Shanti, 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 peace. May there be peace in your hearts. May there be peace in your lives. May there be peace in this world. Gently rising up. Namaste. Namaste. Thanks for being with me tonight. My pleasure.